To Dream Team Call. My name is Jessica Bowser Nelson, and I just want to officially welcome everyone to the call. It is Monday night, November 27th, and I'm really excited you are all joining us, especially with our special guest tonight, who I do not see on the call yet. So if anybody sees our special guest hop on, just let me know. But before we begin, I did want to give a shout out to a few of you. I'm going to be really quick on any announcements or recognition because we're going to do our best to keep this call to strictly 30 minutes. So first off, I hope that you guys, I hope that you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving and got to spend some, I'm sure, much needed time with your families. So I wanted to welcome you back because we're here and we're about to end 2017 strong. But before I turn it over to our guest that I see just hopped on the call that we're so excited about, I did want to give a few of the coaches an amazing shout out because we had so many new Diamond coaches this week. So I wanted to give a shout out to our very first Diamond coach in the UK, Chetan Harani. Way to go, Chetan. Let's see who else went Diamond this week. Renee Maza, Chrissy Anderson, Rajan Hines, and I know it's still in the works with Coach Relations, but Brittany, I heard you went Diamond too, Brittany Everett. So just wanted to give you guys a shout out, and so many coaches entered qualifying too to hit their elite goals by the end of the year. So we are all rooting you on and believing in you and excited to all finish strong together. But any other announcements, just head over to the team page for those. We do have our live open house tomorrow night, but I just wanted to make sure that we gave our guests plenty of time and still honored the 30-minute window. So without further ado, you guys know him as the Superfood Hunter. He's literally like our own real-life version of Indiana Jones. He's the author of the book Super Life, The 5 Forces That Will Make You Healthy, Fit, and Eternally Awesome. How many of you guys have read that? Awesome book. And he is literally an expert on all things nutrition, hydration, food, you name it, and we are so lucky to have him. So Darin, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you guys hear him okay? Good, I got some thumbs up. Yay, we're so excited that you're here. Thank you for doing this, especially right after Thanksgiving.
Jessica, thank you. It's come on. This is fun. This is fun stuff. We get to talk about my favorite topics.
Exactly.
Health and Shakeology and why that is and what that is, and it's awesome.
Perfect. So now I know I sent you some questions. Do you have those or do I need to read those?
No, I think I have them right here.
Okay, great. Well, then the floor is yours. I've told everybody, 30 minutes is our window, so just let me know.
Okay. Cool. So I'll go off on many tangents and hopefully answer all the questions. So again, thank you. The first question is, why are you so passionate about Shakeology over a protein shake or eating naturally healthy foods? Well, if I go back just a little bit, which is, growing up in a small town, but being premature, 3.5 pounds, that was very significant for many reasons for me. One is my signaling of literally the first impression of this world was that, and I discovered later in my life, that was, it's intense, it's fearful, I'm vulnerable, I'm weak. That was how I grew up, and my body had many different things going on that I had to overcome. And by doing things with nutrition, as I hit 13, then 16, and then ultimately I got hurt playing college football. And then at 20 years old, I changed my major and focused on nutrition and health because I realized at that early age that by what we do, by what we eat, hell, by what we think, by our attitudes, all helps in terms of having a good life or not so good life. So the reason why I'm passionate about Shakeology and why this conglomeration of some of the greatest botanicals in the world, literally, that Isabel and I sent out the tentacles to gather is because we ultimately, and certainly from my life experience, is we wanted people to have the greatest nutrient dense foods in the world. We wanted those supplements, those botanicals that have been used by thousands of years, so that they can aid in a body thriving, so that you can thrive. So that if you are consuming nutrient dense foods, herbs, botanicals, superfoods, eating well, drinking well, sleeping well, having good relationships, all of that stuff that promotes you having a kick-ass life. And also not being a victim to your life. How many people do you know that are essentially now, over time, kind of beholden to the weakness of their body, right? How many people do you know that have chronic issues? Hell, so many people are depressed and sad, and just their bodies are breaking down. I just talked to a good friend of mine who had a different life experience that I've known for 30 years, and he is complaining about his body. And him and I took a radically different trajectory in our lives, and I'm seeing now, same age, people breaking down. The very reason, one of the main reasons of why we created Shakeology is so that it could be a catalyst for these botanicals that can help your body optimize, plain and simple. So when over a protein shake, oh my God, tell me the million reasons why it is way beyond a protein shake. A protein shake is like if you have a wheel and you have 100 spokes in it, and you're talking about one spoke, meaning it's protein. That's like talking about the Amazons and focusing on one tree, right? It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. We gathered this array of botanicals that on their own are so strong and have been used for so very long to help the body optimize its health, that and on top of each of those ingredients, you have them within them, hundreds, sometimes hundreds of individual compounds that are helping to support and making up what that actual botanical is. Then you add in the 60 plus kind of ingredients, and you have Shakeology, which is an incredibly complex array of nature, right? So that is part of the reason why it's so much more than just this protein shake. And then of course you have these buckets that you can talk about, which are, you know, the prebiotics and probiotics, helping this incredible microbiome that is largely a huge, look that up and do a little work around the microbiome and the microflora and how important that is in your health. And then you have the incredible bucket, which is in Shakeology, the adaptogen bucket that has, you know, the adaptogens of maca and ashwagandha and reishi and cordyceps and schizandra and all of these incredible botanicals that are helping your body deal with this onslaught of stressors. So all of these reasons, all of these different aspects that we brought together in Shakeology was to fill these gaps that we're kind of hitting and having in a modern day stressful, mineral deprived from the foods. You know, we have mineral deprived food. Our soils are not the same as they once were, and we're dealing with all kinds of stressors, including environmental stressors that drive up the demand that the body needs for micronutrients. So that are several reasons as to why we put this micronutrient rich shake together, to counteract all of what we're missing and to fill in the gaps of what we require. So you can obviously tell it's in another universe compared to a protein shake. Okay. That's a good topic. We could talk a lot about that. The next question: what makes Shakeology truly different than its competitors, and how much research have you done into this? Well, being in this field, it's, you're researching constantly. Isabel is doing the same. So, 20 years professionally in this business, another 10 years of studying, and Isabel has pretty much got that same record. So we're constantly researching. We don't really focus on competitors, and here's some of the major reasons. There's a lot of things going on in the industry that you guys will never know. How many times of a food product or supplement do you actually get to talk to one of the formulators? How many times do you actually get to interact with the owner of the company, right? So that's an incredible thing. And the reason why it's incredible for me and for like Isabel is that we get to tell you the truth. We get to say what we have been doing, and the major differences of Shakeology and maybe some other competitive products, and obviously protein shakes don't even waste your time. And other competitive things. Here's the major differences that I see. The industry is like the Wild West. Yes, you have the FDA, you have USDA, you have organic certifications, you have all of these agencies that are supposed to be and have your best interest. But unfortunately, that is not the case of people growing, processing, and manufacturing certainly supplements and absolutely foods. So you have people that will take a profit over quality all the time. One of the major differences that we have with other competitors is we put our money where our eyes are, meaning that we spend millions of dollars going around the globe, making sure that what's in that shake is exactly what it's supposed to be. There was something that just came out this weekend, as an example. So reishi mushrooms is in our shake. So it was discovered that adulterated, some major suppliers of reishi mushrooms was adulterated and actually wasn't even reishi, and an inferior product, and that major supplier is selling to a lot of companies. Well, here's the thing. We have already done that work. Our research and development team, headed by Mike Wilson and Richard Andrew, these guys have already done the work. We have already found the suppliers. We have already done our own tests. We have already looked in the eyeballs of the people processing for us. That is the major difference. You're not going to get a slick, easy, super easy answer to this, but you are the police here, that you get to share more of that story. We have the people in place of quality assurance. We have the people in place of the research and development to make sure that no toxic compounds and the active compounds and the constituents and the fingerprints of our botanicals are actually what they are. And unfortunately, more and more supplements on the market are not tested, and just pieces of paper are being passed around and people aren't even testing them. So those are some of the major differences of us and competitors. We are just simply one of the best products out there based on all of the work that we do behind the scenes to make sure that what you're drinking is actually what it's supposed to be. Because it's like nowadays with formulation, we have huge teams right? So back in the early days, Isabel and I would be just battling over and over different suppliers and stuff. And now we're kind of the moral compass of this thing, keeping it on track, keeping it in integrity. And we have this huge team. Number one, Carl signed up for that and not compromising on that product a decade ago. He promised both Isabel and I that he wouldn't compromise. So now we have hundreds of people that are operating from that theos, from that idea that we won't compromise on the shake. Sometimes we have to change things because, there's times where suppliers are not acting in accordance with our standards. That happens all the time. And so we have to do a lot of work. So here's the thing. The difference, you get to talk to the people that created it. You get to understand the millions of dollars and hours that we spend testing and making sure that our product is real. And that, to me, being a guy that's been behind the scenes in many countries around the world, that to me is the most important thing, because if you don't see it with your own eyes, if you're not understanding what those processes are doing or not doing, I guarantee you 99.9% of the time they will do something wrong. Some for the money and some because they're naive. And that's the reality of the business. And I hope that this type of conversation gets out more and more about how incredible our quality assurance is with Beachbody and Shakeology. So that's something super important. And I just obviously wanted to take that opportunity to tell you. Okay, so how important is it to drink it daily? How important is it to eat well every day? How important, why did they come up with the phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? The point to those stories is that when you do habits set towards health, you get health. If you have habits set towards whatever, I just don't feel like eating, I'm just going to eat that, I'm going to live a little. Well, guess what? All of that stuff is just simply BS. It's ideas. It doesn't mean anything. Guess what has to mean something? When you open your mouth and you put something in it, that's a very physical thing that's happening. It doesn't care what your stupid point of view is or your good point of view is. The reality is that the good foods or the bad foods, your body has to deal with that. So my point is, if an apple a day keeps the doctor away, can you imagine some of the greatest botanicals in the world that are in one shake? And then if you drink and take in those every day, imagine what that will do for your body than just a simple apple a day. So this is why it's so important. Your body is constantly dealing with stress. It's constantly being hit with toxins. You need strong nutrients to help your body deal with that. Because the number one thing of aging is simply your body losing the fight in this thing called life. We're getting hit with free radicals, oxidation that slowly starts to erode the body's ability to repair cells. It starts to affect the telomeres, these things on the end of the chromosomes that are showing your biological age. Did you know that you can speed up your biological age? Do you know that you can slow it down? That's all based in healthy lifestyle, right? So this is a very real thing. I am not here to sell you Shakeology. I am here to tell you we have gathered some of the greatest botanicals in the world to help your body kick ass. That's it. So that's how important it is. How important is it for you to have fun, kick ass, and not have to worry about a body that's not keeping up to what you want in your life? That's how important it is. I believe, and some people say, well, I like to eat my food. Well, so do I, but our food's not the same. And if I have a chance to eat those botanicals, those herbs that have been used and for cultures and time to strengthen a body, why wouldn't I do that? Why? I'm going to give you a homework. Pick one adaptogen and spend a minimum of 5 minutes. That's it, 5 minutes. Pick one adaptogen: Schizandra, ashwagandha, astragalus, maca, reishi, cordyceps. Take one of those and just look it up. Look up some research, read an article, look up some things, try to find maybe a research article and read the abstract. Look at some of that stuff. Look at the incredible healing potential we have in that shake. And then you don't have to become a nutritionist, but then times that by how many we have in there. And each one of those incredible botanicals are there to help your body thrive. So do that for me if you would, because that hopefully will give you a spark to understand your own shake that you're opening your own mouth and taking in, and also start to understand the levels at which and the reasons we put these botanicals in there so that your bodies can do what it's designed to do. And we're not just throwing it in there and not testing it, that a lot of other companies, those are actually real ingredients. Okay. Let me see. Next question, how do you personally validate the price to others when they are on a budget? You know, this one's tough for me, and I am not a good person to answer this but I will tell you this. The reason I say that is because once I became increasingly more knowledgeable about food, of course we all, I always get better and better. And I can't believe I ate that, but I thought it was good then. And I continued to understand more about food. I would never care about price when it came to the quality of food in my body, because I didn't want the power of essentially a day, cents and dollars matching I wanted my nutrition to mean more to me than a few dollars. That's how I have always viewed it. And because of that, your health benefits, because you're sitting in the moment you're in right now is a conglomeration of all the choices you made that's making you right now. So I always said, wow, the more I know, I'm just going to put really good food in me, because tomorrow I'm going to sit in that moment, and that's going to be the effect of what I'm doing right now. And so on and so on and so on and so on. And that creates chronic health by doing habits that are healthy over time, or it's going to create chronic disease that's going to manifest over time, period. So I just don't I think the shake is cheap. I do, because listen, I've been on mountaintops at 17,000 feet looking for herbs. I've been in jungles getting bitten by huge ants. I've been on the Amazon River in broken down boats. I know where this stuff comes from. And the fact that it's real, coming from real people, being processed in the way that we have inspected and that we have tested, and the fact that these botanicals are coming from around the world, coming together in this beautiful bag and showing on your doorstep, and the fact that it's giving you the nutrient density of these great godfathers of botanicals, I think it's cheap. I do. That's my personal point of view. And listen, I don't come from a rich family. I'm a small town kid, so it's not like I'm coming, money doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that your health is way more important than a few dollars. Like, I know that you can figure out how to pay for things, and I mean all things that you care about. And I just does not make sense to me to buy an inferior food or supplement for purely cost savings. Just doesn't make sense to me. And I know too much about the supplement and the food industry, and I know too much that most people, if you're going to buy an inferior product, you definitely are getting an inferior ingredient. So that's my point of view. I hope that helps. But I think you should, my humble opinion, I think you should take on part of that point of view, that you matter and that your body matters, and that the nutrition that we require, the micronutrients that we require on a daily basis to thrive, it's nothing you want to, shake a stick at. We can definitely eat a lot of volume food, but we make it full, but we might be, nutrient starved. So just take that into consideration. Okay. How are we doing? Oh, we're good. We have a few minutes. Okay. So, for some, it doesn't agree with their stomach at first. Why is that? This is a massive topic. That is, I can't say for all that maybe they are reacting to some botanical just on its own. And I can't say for all people what that is. However, I have to say that it's a growing epidemic in our culture, that we are having food sensitivities and food allergies. And largely it does come down to some food and how it's processed, but it also is coming by way of people's digestive systems being compromised. And that can come by way of a lot of different things. That can come by poor food that has been consumed. They can come by drugs of any kind, over the counter, under the counter, come by way of stress. Absolutely. Can be stress from the environment, can be toxic exposure from the environment. One radical thing is glyphosate, that's in Roundup, that's been unfortunately sprayed in our country and around the globe since the 50s. And that stuff is nasty, and it is causing the disturbances more than I think the food is. So the thing I will say about is a big topic. I'm not going to go into it any further, but Food Democracy Now, if you check that website out, that will give you a lot more information on that. I say that also to say that make sure all your food is tested for pesticides and herbicides. Mostly make sure that you're buying organic, because pesticides and herbicides are, have some nasty things in it. Genetically modified foods are messing up digestion. So that I have to say, when people mention disturbances from supplements or foods, it's not always the supplements or foods. Sometimes for sure, but usually there's a compromise in it. And I will also say, yes, with the fiber, with the strong botanicals, and with the prebiotics and probiotics, most people are not getting good microflora. Most people are not getting enough fiber. So when you take that in, it's going to start moving. It's going to start moving out the bad bacteria and moving in the better. So there definitely can be a disturbance. Now, if you continue to have problems, then the first thing I said about digestive issues and things like that, I would definitely consult your doctor. A normal doctor won't know what the hell is going on, and he will prescribe something that you probably don't want to take. So go after and find a functional medicine doctor, or a naturopath, or someone who understands nutrition and understands food allergies. So that's my short version of that. All right. So then last question. This one's easy. Do I need to be drinking Shakeology after my workout? No. Drink it whenever it's convenient for you. Just get those botanicals in. I do actually like drink it after workouts. It's a good time. I actually sometimes, when I'm feeling like I want something lighter and satisfying, I actually have it for dinner sometimes. I make a little creamy, like really, really thick in a bowl kind of smoothie. So the bottom line is drink it, get it in, whatever is convenient for you, just as long as you're getting the botanicals in. So
thank you, Darin. That was so insightful. I mean, just to hear it straight from you, I think carried so much more weight too. So that was really interesting. Lastly, what is your favorite flavor? Do you have like a go-to flavor?
You know, of course, I used to be a vegan chocolate guy, but now I tell you, I just really love the strawberry vegan, the tropical vegan. It's just the best. I love putting like a bunch of frozen berries in, and pretty simple. I love it. That's kind of my go-to. But on the road, when I'm going, I usually throw more packs, and I love the vanilla. It's so good. The cafe latte is great if I'm going to take it in the morning, because it's got that, but yeah, those are kind of
awesome. Yeah, I love the new vegan vanilla and the new vegan cafe latte. Like, it's insane how good it is. Seriously.
So it's criminal how good that is.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you seriously so much for giving us your time and your passion, and for doing what you do, because we're literally here because of your 20 years of work and 10 years of research and your snake bites. Everything you've done, though, has literally, set the path for us. So I also want you to just know how much we appreciate all that you do every single day. So changing a lot of people's lives.
Thank you, Jessica. I really appreciate it. And I love doing this stuff, and I love sharing it, because it's real, it's true. And Isabel and I and the whole team have dedicated themselves to making sure that that's a great shake, and that people are healthy.
Yes. Well, thank you. And guys, if you don't have his book, you should definitely get it, Super Life. So many good things in that book too, to just continue the conversation. So thank you, Darin. And thank you, everybody. You guys have a good night. Go drink your shake if you have it.